Hello, hello, Happy New Year, boys and girls. It's 2019, incredibly enough. We were thinking to plane shift before year 2000, so it's pretty amazing it's 2019 and somehow, some way, we are still working on plane shift, or anyway, having fun trying to develop pieces of plane shift and learning new stuff, in particular learning Unreal Engine and seeing what possibilities it will give us in the future. I have to say that I really enjoy working with Unreal Engine. It's a pretty cool engine, and it's easy to use from many point of view. I mean, it requires a bit of time to learn, but because there is so much, that's the main reason. But I would say it's easy. I mean, it's a lot of the stuff is very intuitive. So what I would like to do is exploring mini games. Mini games is something that I was thinking already since quite some time, and mainly connected to crafting. Hello, Tua. Mainly connected to crafting, or anyway to reduce some of the tedious tasks that you have to do in the game and switch them with a kind of a mini game. Now the problem of mini games is how to render them to screen, and it is something that I've been investigating a bit. So I created a completely new project. I created the project starting from a third-person example. There is a kind of a third-person standard example. And I looked at the internet and tried to see how people do mini games, but in particular how people do the overlay of one screen on top of another screen. Because actually, if you think about it, a mini game has to pop up somehow. Okay, so it has to pop up on screen, and it can take the whole screen or it can take a part of the screen, but anyway, it has to pop up on top of the current world and let you interact with it instead of continuing to interact with your main character. So that's the issue. Now, there are different techniques that I've seen, and it seems to me that there are, let's say, 3 main techniques. Okay, I'm not an expert of this, so whatever I'm saying, it may be wrong. Okay, so don't take it too much as so it's just a brainstorming, between me and you, trying to see if we can come up with something good. So I think in terms of techniques, there is, let's say, one technique which is the scene capture component. Scene capture component 2D, whatever is the name. 2D. Scene capture component 2D. I think it's named like this. Scene capture 2D. Well, actually, scene capture 2D and then component. Okay, scene capture 2D component. So basically, this one is a way to plus render to texture. Okay, render target to texture, how to call it. So what this does is basically taking a part of your scene, and I can show it to you very simply because there is an example here that I rebuilt just for that. So this is the example, and well, I can actually play it. It's no problem to play it. Basically, here I have, this is the simple level, the simple Unreal Engine level, right? So the one that it ships with the engine. and there is our dummy character. It is the one that is again available in the standard Unreal Engine, say default level. So if you see at the bottom right, there is another guy which is rendered, which is actually kind of not me, because when I'm moving, you see that guy doesn't move. The guy is kind of in idle position, and I took it from a tutorial I found on the internet. A very nice guy that made a tutorial on this, which is basically using the scene component capture to render to the screen a part of the screen. I mean, another scene, let's say, another scene. And if I press tab, you see that this guy becomes full body. So there is a kind of a full body view of him. If I release tab, it becomes small again. So there is just one technique to overlap, you know, to the current world something else. This technique is done in the following way. So you basically create what is called scene capture 2D component, right? Which is this thing. Looks like a camera, but it's actually a scene 2D component, which is pointing to something you want to render. So in this case, it's pointing to my character. Now, if I would place whatever another element in this area, right, it will render as well. Now, the point is that this character is somewhere in the world, very, 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 very far away from the actual 3D level. So the 3D level, I'm looking to the left. The 3D level is inside this huge skybox, and is a very, very small area inside the skybox. Very, very small. If I look to the right, you see there I have my setup for the scene capture. So it's so far away, will never be seen, never be rendered when I'm in the main level, but still somehow is part of the world. Okay, and this is one of the problems that Unreal Engine has, that is not capable, at least to my knowledge, to have two separate sublevels loaded at the same time. Sorry, two separate levels loaded at the same time. Obviously you can do it with sublevels, but sublevels at the end are located in the same coordinate system, so at the end they will be somewhere, and so will be the same. I mean, I could take these elements and select all these elements and put them in a sub-level, but still I will have them in this location or in some location, you know. So it doesn't make a lot of difference. Now, don't look at the one on the right, because the one on the right is another test. So the scene component is basically doing this, and so this one is pointing to the face, and is the one that we see here at the bottom left. And the one at the back, oops, I flew away. And the one at the back here is the one of the full body. So basically what happens is that whatever this camera is seeing in front of him is rendered to a texture. So basically you create a texture, which is this one, which is nothing else than what the camera is seeing. And then you apply this texture in a particular place in your HUD. So for example, I have this HUD here, and I applied, you see, the first texture at the bottom, which is this face image, and then I apply the full body image here. Now I can move this. Oops, I don't know what happened. I can move this without problem, so I can decide where it goes in my screen, right? I decided to put it here, and then there is some logic of turning it on and off, but yeah, that's basically it. What are so the scene component is basically this one. So what are the issues of this? Let me just maybe take a screenshot so we can put it there, and we remember what it is. Oops. No, I wanted to copy only this. Can I copy on this piece, please? Yeah, so there is the kind of render to text. I don't know if it's better to take this picture or maybe take this picture. Maybe it's easier to take this picture so it's more understandable, right? I think it's more understandable. So that, right? And let me put it here. Okay, so it's a bit big actually, but who cares? Okay, let's do it like this. So scene capture 2D is basically that. So it is a camera looking at something in the world and rendering that to the screen. There are a number of issues with this though. The main issue is that it's not interactive. Like you cannot click, you cannot let's say you cannot click or interact somehow with your mouse with the stuff that is that isn't. So let's say lesser interactivity. I don't even know if in English you can say it like this, but it's fine. Lesser interactivity. So or lower level of interactivity. So that's definitely a minus because you cannot actually. So you cannot click. Or you cannot pass through mouse events. Okay, so somehow you can. I mean, the people reading this will say no you can. Well, actually yes, I know you can somehow, but you will have to basically control the mouse in the current location of the player somehow, and then translate it to screen space where the camera is, which is extremely annoying. I tried it a bit and I found it very annoying. I found it very annoying. Now, the other thing of this, well, I think this is the main drawback actually. Everything else works pretty well. So it's integrated with UMG widgets, so meaning with our UI, let's call it UI widgets. So you can basically put it inside inside a widget. To me, that's a plus for sure, because having widgets is pretty easy, and you can build interface. You can, like, for example, I wrote here player 1, right? So what we could do to create a mini game is basically to create a mini game somewhere in our world, like in this location, like I've shown before, right? In this location, and then we have our mini game there, and then we look at the mini game and pop it up on the screen of the character somehow when he's touching something or activating something, and then the mini game will run. Now, how can we then use the mouse and pass events, click, and all of that? I mean, we can somehow, because we can still control, we can still check the mouse movement, and we can check any keys pressing, so that's fine. But actually we are not there. I mean, our character is not there. Our character is still in the main scene. So when I run this, and I go to the mini game, right? My character is still here, but just I'm seeing something, you know, through a cap. So I can do it different. Let me show you. I think it's easier. We can just create a panel. We can just create a plane, I think. No? Can I create a plane? I think I can. Oh, there it is. I can just create a plane and make like kind of a TV kind of effect, you know. So like I rotated it 90 degrees. That's about 100 degrees, and then now I'm just making it bigger. Okay, now for some reason I think it's the other side. No? I don't know. Probably not. Okay, so yeah. Okay, so I can make this panel. I can have in this panel as a texture my scene capture, my full body, what is called, my full body material. In theory, should work. It's not showing. Why is not showing? Plane 2. I don't know if it's the other way around. No, it's not. Okay. Let me check why it's not showing. But in theory, this plane as a text. So let me see. Static mesh. Boom. Materials. Because that's disabled by default. So I will see it only when I press tab, something like that. I think. No. I should see it in theory. I should see the same that I see on the left. I should see it there, but unless there is a problem with having two sources, but I don't think so. Like I'm rendering the same thing in two places. I don't think there should be a problem though. I just don't understand what is the right side of this plane. It's actually showing empty here for some reason. Is it because it's on? I made it that. Let me just test something. If I change it to minigame target, do you like this? Why is it always empty here? Okay, let me do something else because this plane is a bit fishy. I'm not sure. Also, it's not really showing as an object. Let me make instead of a plane. Let me just delete this. And let me make a cube, okay? So I don't know if for any reason the plane is messing up. I don't think so, but you know, maybe it doesn't like the plane for some reason. Okay, so if I apply to this one, let's try to do it again. My full HUD. Still going like fully transparent. Like if it's not rendering. Is rendering on the widget because I did some changes to have it render on the widget, and so I think now that I want the same material, let's try to do another material which we will call. Let's create another texture, okay? Let's create another texture just dedicated to what is this mini game target pointing to anyway? I don't remember. Mini game target material because this was a pointer to something. Create blocking volume. Minigame target. Why is not showing? Why becomes completely transparent immediately? As soon as I assign this material, it becomes Okay, let me try something else. Let's create another. So the scene target, this minigame target, I think is fine. I just don't remember where it's coming from, but it's fine. Let's create another material because I think I did some mess in material. Let's call it cube scene material. Okay. Let's try to call it cube scene material, and in this case, I want to make. Yeah, I can copy this texture sample. I think it's no problem. The difference is that I will go with base color. And let me save this way. Okay, with base color, no opacity. Okay, because I think the fact that it's transparent was done for the widget, and now I think is messing up my life. So let's try to do cube material. Okay, so here you see it. In fact. So if I do, if I change this to take from my full body target, do you see it? Yeah, I think you see it. Okay, fine. So, yeah, I think it was a difference with the material. So I had to recreate the material to actually, yeah, see, now you can see. Now you can see. Yeah, now you can see it. Now the light is obviously based is a bit too high. Let me move it down, but just to give you the idea. Okay, so this would be like a screen in the middle of the room. I don't know how to call it, but the problem is the lighting is a bit stupid. So maybe if I could disable lighting on this one, cast shadows no. If I could go with use emissive for static, use version relevant. I'm just checking. Force surface. I wanted to force just standard lighting, you know, on it. Like he's ignoring. I don't know if it's something that we can do, but allow using the emissive for static lighting. If through the object will only shadow in direct lighting. Let me see what happens like this. Still a bit black, but and anyway, you see it is like a TV screen. Now the point is that I have disabled my scene capture for performance reasons when I'm not in the tab mode. But if I press tab, you see that this guy starts to move. Also in the, I mean, appears on the left, but he also starts to move in the right side. Now another cool thing is that if I pick up one of these colors, I become of that color, and this guy becomes of that color as well. Again, as soon as I press tab, but I can disable that. But okay, so this is a way to basically render something inside the scene, like if it's on a TV screen. Let me check if it's working with the plane now. If it was just, the fact that we had the render to screen. Let me assign the same material. So the full body. No, not the full body. We call it the cube, right? The cube scene material. Okay, for some reason the lighting is a bit annoying, so let me just turn it where the lighting is good and put it like, I don't know, like here, like if it's a TV screen. Okay. Okay, so now, yeah, as you can see, that works. And I could make it always live. Now, now it's stopping because I made it stop when. Or I could do the face one. The face will. Yeah, I can do the face, and the face will actually work always. Face. I will show you because size maybe is nicer. Okay, because this one is always running, so just that's why. Okay, now this one is now the face is always running. You see, it's always moving, and this one is always moving. So there is one way, okay, to use the problem is that I can pop up this thing in a widget like this, and then I have to disable the input and then I have to translate the clicks, right? Cannot pass. Well, it's not true that I cannot pass through mouse events, but I would say need to translate screen coordinates to scene capture coordinates. So it will be a bit of a mess actually. So I don't think I want to do this. It's integrated with widgets, and well, actually another plus is that being a scene component, you can turn it on and off. Based on needs, which is cool. So you can avoid, you know, rendering this thing if it's not needed, right? So there is one way. Why doesn't it feel it? Okay. There is one way. Now another way is, which is what I was investigating, is to actually create still an area with a mini game, but not, which is this. What's going on? Because I'm in, sorry, I was in play mode, which is this other example, okay, which I have here on the right. So basically here on the right, what I have, instead of having a scene capture like that, I have an actual scene. This one is not a scene capture. This one is a camera. It's a normal camera, right? And what I do, I basically move the camera of my character here, and I disable the movement of the character, and I enable the mouse movement. So there is the second way that I found, and is I don't know how to call it, but just move the camera, the character camera to the minigame location, right? And disable, so disable character movement and enable mouse movement, and you know, do whatever you want. Now the good part of this is that you are actually in the 3D space, so you are exactly there. So you're looking at where the mini game is. So it's not rendered through a screen, through a texture, right? But you're actually there. So there is definitely a plus. Another plus is that then you can finally interact so easily. So click with mouse is just standard supported. I don't know how to say, but you just have a let's say mouse events like click, mouse over, etc. are default, you know. So are just there because you are in the right location to do this. And now the fact that you are not in a widget is a bit annoying because I mean there is no easy way to have you know the overlay, to have the effect of an overlay with the world where the character stands, no? With the world where character is, right? While on this one is easy to do the overlay. The overlay with character world, because like you have seen, you are just putting it on top. So in this first example, we are putting it on top of the existing world. Holy moly, why is doing this? Right. While in this one, we are moving the camera, and so actually we are not there anymore. We are not in our level anymore. We are where the mini game is, right? So our point of view is there, and so the overlay is not very easy. Now, to show you this, apart from becoming pink or purple, which is always nice, I basically created this block. When I touch this block, my camera is gonna move and go where the mini game is, and the mini game is going to start, right? So if I go forward there, and see, as soon as I touch now, it's a bit fast because I put the speed very very high because I was just testing something. Let me do the speed to 10 so you can see it maybe better. So I go here, I touch it, and my mini game starts. So now the camera is in a completely different place, and the mini game is running, right? Now it runs automatically, maybe we can do it, but basically the mini game at the moment is just you have to click on the ball. You have to do nothing else. You click on the ball, like 7 times or 6 times, and you win the game. Okay? You let the ball fly by itself without touching it, and you make 3 mistakes. So basically you miss the ball and you lose. You see? You lost and you lose. Okay, so that's very simple mini game for now, but it's just to see. So now the problem is that, as you can see, it's full screen. So I completely lose the control of where my character is. I just have this mini game popping up on top. Is it good or not? I don't know, but that's one of the drawbacks. Now, can I pop up the mini game, you know, just in an area? So I don't know. I don't have another way to do it. Apart from these two ways, I don't have another way to do it. So that's what I'm trying to investigate, if there is a better way. Let's say another way that I didn't test yet is what is called paper 2D. Some people are saying that we should use paper 2D, but I didn't test it yet. Paper 2D is a way to do 2D games in a real engine. Usually those are like full screen games as well, but I assume that you can integrate paper 2D into a kind of a widget. Maybe we can search that and see if it's possible. A real engine, integrate paper 2D in widget. I don't know if they did it, but paper 2D, UMG, health bar and sprites. Seems it's possible.
My name's Ren, and today is UMG day. What we're going to be doing, fine. Health from the front. Called change. We'll be able. So the amount wants to be. If we click on.
Just want to check if there is any.
Same place. If we go back to our health, and which we can edit inside the graph.
Just try. This guy is doing a health bar or something.
0 to 1. this is going to show our health. Because it's our health, we're also going to change the colour.
Because it needs some kind of animation, that's why. So it's using paper 3D, I think, because it needs some kind of animation. This is not exactly what I was looking for. I'm looking for a way.
That's everything you need to know to create basic user interface objects within Unreal Engine, adding them to the viewport and editing them using modular assets. In the next session, we're going to...
Yeah, it's not exactly... It's not exactly what I was looking for, but... And then there are these things like this very nice... So this I don't know. And then there are like these nice things done by people. So, for example, look at this. If you want to cry a bit because it's so nice that I don't know how to do it. So Unreal Engine Marketplace lockpicking. Okay, so there are some things, some elements that you can buy in the marketplace.
Welcome to the Mindless Pursuits.
And let me just go to the point where he's doing stuff. So basically, he has a kind of a lock picking system. So there is a door, and whenever you go close to the door and you press a button, kind of a lock picking system comes up. Let me show you if it's... Yes, like this. So, and you see that he still has the normal world in the background, right? So he has the normal door in the background, but somehow it pops up this 3D view of the lock, and he can also interact with the lock, meaning that he can move the mouse and these things move. So it seems to me that this is kind of a 3D scene, you know. Now, I don't know how it does that, because I don't think it's... And there is another example here, where he's in front of the door and then it's lock picking. He's using a kind of a small mini game thing, you know. I may listen to this video better, but I may listen to this video better, but 5 demo doors, lock component with locking functionality. Yeah, you see, special classes to render minigames into the screen in 3D. So I think that what this guy did, this guy actually created some C++ classes to render this in 3D. I don't think he's doing the tricks that I'm doing. I think that this guy is doing something with C++ and he's basically creating... So it's not just like we do. I mean, it's not popping out. It's not changing the camera location. I don't think he's doing this. And I don't think he's doing a screen capture. A screen capture like this one. Or maybe he is. Because, you know, as long as the point is this, as long as the interaction becomes simple, like moving the mouse, I think I will have no problem in overlapping, right? So let me create another guy. So maybe we can do something else. Okay, so let's put another trigger. The problem is that I will have to redo a lot of the logic, but let me create maybe a new actor. Did I create a trigger minigame actor? Yes, this one. Well, this one I could. Let me create a new one. Okay, we create a new actor so it's completely fresh and we don't mess up. So we create a new actor. We call it trigger minigame 2, and this one will be a cube as well. Can we do something better than a cube, or can we just have always a cube? We can have a sphere, we can have a plane, or we can import a mesh, but I like to keep it simple. Okay, I guess we will have a set of items, so it will look nicer, but in reality it's just a combination of cubes and other shit. So so let me make something here. So we will have a kind of a cube, we will have kind of a sphere, and okay, maybe we will have another sphere, and I don't know, it will look like this, okay, just for fun. And so now this will be our trigger minigame too. Let me just find the texture which is kind of reasonably. There is this one they already used. There is the grass. There is the skybox, and there is this metal rust, which seems to be okay. So we will use the metal rust as a material of this one. Okay. Okay, so this will be our kind of trigger box, right? Now this one we can place whatever. Let's place it here. It's too small. Maybe it's too small. Make it bigger. Yeah, it's too small. I don't like it. I want to make it this bit bigger. Let's select all three and scale all three together. I think it will never work. Let me see. Kind of worked. Nice. I underestimated. Okay, so okay, it's a bit better. So this will be our trigger, right? And at the moment it's blocking all. I don't need it to block me. So all of this will be overlap dynamic, and I think that we can. The best would be to have this as just one object, but it's fine. It's fine. Even if it's not one object, it's fine. If I scale one, I scale everything. Okay. Not expecting that. So if I go here and because probably this is the root, because it's the root, boys. If I make it parallel, then it will scale separately. Yes, exactly. Scale separately. Okay, apart from this, if I want to, but I think it's fine. So I think if I put one inside the other, only this one will have the overlap. So on component overlap, right? On component begin overlap, we create our function, and on component begin overlap, for now we just print something, but we just print hello. So what this means, I didn't compile it. This means that whenever I go here and I touch it, I see hello, right? Say hello, hello. So, which is nice. Now what we want to do, we would like to see if we can overlay. So the point is overlay, right? So scene capture 2D. So if I go here, which is where we have our two examples, I can make another example. So in this case will be a screen capture again. Yes, I think it will be a screen capture again. So I will make copy of this. Oops. Can I copy this? No. Make another. Scene capture 2D. I will put it here. I will rotate it 180 degrees as usual. Okay, so this thing should look the same way, yes. So let's put it maybe down here so we remember is our third example. Okay, so we will move it a bit here to the right. And I would like to make it so that it is aligned in terms of so let's make it here. Let's have enough space. But what I'm thinking is that if I have to remake something like this guy made, but I only have to move like 3D objects, I think it's not too much of a problem. In the sense that, let's imagine I have two objects. So let's imagine I have why when I type something it doesn't pick it up? Let's imagine I have my cylinder, right? Which is in theory my key lock, and make it something like that. Why it looks like skewed? Why is it rotated like weird like this? No idea. $90. Yeah, maybe I didn't rotate 90 degrees the first time. Okay, so let's say that we have our thing here, and obviously I will have to position it in front of the camera, exactly in front of the camera. Sorry, someone is messaging me. So I need to answer to this quickly. Okay. So let's assume that it is our lock, and then we will make it better, so we will make it nicer. And can I duplicate this thing? I think there was a duplicate one day. Duplicate. Boom. Okay, perfect. Very nice. So let's assume we do something like that. I don't know, then we will make obviously a 3D asset for it. Okay, so I'm not saying that we will stay like this, but this potentially is our lock. Okay, whatever it is, that is our lock. Now, basic shape material. Can I have a material which is metal steel? Wow, this looks nice. Metal steel and metal steel. Metal steel. Okay, perfect. Okay, now this thing, now the lighting may not be good. The lighting may not be good. I don't know. We can fix it, but this will stay in front of the camera. Then let's say that I have, two thingies that I need to move. So I want, what do I want? I want a cone. What do I want? I want a cone. Okay, I want a cone. And this cone will be, how can I change the cone shape a bit? Okay, I think that's cool. mean, that's enough for my purpose for now. And then we make a proper lockpick tool. But that's enough, you know. That's enough for my purpose at the moment. And I rotate it like 90 degrees. Well, I don't care how much I rotate it, but it can be something like this, right? And it may point to the thingy. It may point to my lock. It may be by default in the right location, right? Something like that. And again, we will make a proper lockpick, okay? But now the question is, can I move this thing? Can I move this thing when I'm scene capturing this? I think I can. I think I can without any issue now that I think about it. So, and this one will be copper material. Okay, takes a bit to load, but then okay. So now this one, this cone, let's call it lockpick. And so at this point, what we want to do? Well, what we want to do? We want to create a new UI. We want to create a new UI, which will be called lockpick UI. Lockpick UI. And this UI will have a sides box, and we'll have an image into it, exactly the same as I did in the example that I copied, which was very cool, by the way. I really thanks that guy for doing that tutorial. It was very, very nice. Now this image now will be rendered to texture of my scene component. Okay, so I need to go here. I need to associate the texture and say render to target. So he's creating a, if I click on the texture of this scene component, it's automatically asking me if I want to create a new asset, and I would say yes. So this is what I want. So I will go here, I will go under texture, and I will call it lockpick target, right? Lockpick target. So now this one is pointing there. Okay, fine. Now I need to create a material as well. I think it's easier if I just do this. Right click, create material, and then I move my material to the other directory. Move here. I think that's the easiest. Yes. And this one I can call it M lockpick target, which I think is fine. Okay, so this will be my material. Now I think in the same way we did with the other example, I don't want the base color, I want the emission color, and I want the alpha to be -1. I mean 1 minus, and I want this to be translucent, and the opacity is this. Okay, so now I don't see anything. Okay, now I see it like this. Okay, nice, nice, nice. It's working. Like this is working, boys. So yeah, I think this will work. I'm thinking that this will be okay. Okay, so I got my widget. The sides box, then I will make it big as this, right? Yes. And my image, the only problem is that my image needs to pick from my lockpick render target, but the material, okay. Yes, and you see it shows. Now the quality of the image is determined by the resolution that I pick when I create the render target. So when I created this texture, I think I gave it kind of a resolution. You go under texture, lockpick target, you see it 256 by 256. If I do 1024 by 1024, now the resolution becomes much better. Obviously it will cost us more in terms of performance, but it will, I think it will be good. Okay, so what we want to do here, when we overlap, we want to create a new widget, and the widget would be the lockpick widget, and we don't want to print a law anymore, and we want to add it to the viewport, right? That's what we want to do. So basically, if I go into my game now and I just walk there, okay, very cool, very cool. Wow, I like it. So yeah, so I think we can do this, boys. I think we can do this. So basically now what I need to do, I need to copy all the code that I already used and the other one to disable the user and disable, because I did a bunch of stuff. So let me say trigger minigame. Trigger minigame. So all of this is still valid. No. No, none of this is valid. No, I have to, the only thing I have to do, I have to stop the character somehow. I would say yes. So this is still valid. Hello, Sway. How are you? Happy New Year. So will 2019 bring us Unreal Engine plane shift? I think there are good chances. 2019 is, I mean, we just started it, so there is time. There is time. Maybe doable. So we stop the movement of this guy. And the other thing I need to do, you know, that I don't remember where I did it. I think it should be in my trigger minigame, no? Where do I disable trigger minigame? Okay, on component overlap, get moving component, blah blah blah. Sequence style, blah blah blah. Show mouse, it's this one, I think. It's show mouse cursor. And is in minigame. It's this thing. Okay. Now I remember. Is in minigame. Well, okay. We have to create something specific. This is not very nice, but okay. Because this variable is in minigame, right, is basically telling the engine that we are inside a minigame, and so the controls of our characters are no more moving our characters, but are doing something else. It's a bit of a hack, but I think it's what everyone is doing, so I'm not too concerned about that. Let me just make this slightly nicer to see. And so what we do here, we tell the engine we are in the mini game. We show the mouse cursor because by default, you know, wait, there are a few issues here. Player controller object reference. Yes, I need my player controller, obviously. Oops. So by default, you see, when I'm in the game, the mouse doesn't show up, right? So while when we are in the mini game, we want the mouse to show up so that we can interact. Well, actually, I don't know if we really want this, but for now, let's say that we do. Okay, so I go here. My character stops, and you see if I'm pressing the forward, backward keys, left and right, my character doesn't move anymore. You see? Doesn't move anymore. So and my mouse, so it's basically stuck there forever now. Okay, which is nice, but it's what we want. So now we want the mouse to, and this is something I never did, so we need to check how to do it. So now I want my mouse to be able to move that object left and right or whatever, you know, so to have a sort of sensibility. How do we do this? 1 second, I turn on the lights because it's becoming dark. So how do we do this? So we need to basically, or we do it in the character control, because actually in the third-person character, you see, when we are in the mini game, we can have two different mini game settings. One like is there a better way to do this than hacking the minigame using minigame variable? I don't know. At the moment, there is no other better idea. So my idea would be to add another variable. Call it like B is lock picking, and by default is false, and we do something like so if he's lock picking, what should we do? We should actually move, you know. We should move the other object. So how to do it? Actually, I think it's here. Let's do it. Let's do it with the mouse, okay, and see where we land. Let's do it with the mouse. I need more space. So if it's not in the mini game, we branch and we check if he's lock picking. If he's lock picking, so here we want to do our stuff, right? And I just need then here mini game. Instead of is in mini game, I think I would say is lock picking, but should I? For now, let's use one settings. Let's use both settings, but it probably would be I would specialize them later on. But for now, let's say that we set both minigame and lock picking on this one. Then we'll just because you didn't compile, I guess. Yes. Okay. So if he's locked, then how do we move? How do we move an item with our mouse? I think we need a tutorial for this. If I have to invent it by scratch, it would take me a long time. So basically, on mouse input, we would like to add controller Joe input. This thing makes me think that I must be a pawn. Ouch! Okay, it must be a pawn. It cannot be an actor. Why? Okay. Okay, let me check. Let me check. Unreal Engine move object with mouse. Have an object follow the mouse in 3D space. Perfect. It's exactly what we need. Exactly what we need. No. I hope he explained it to me in a simple way, because it seems that this guy is doing a lot of stuff. Okay, what he's doing is spawning the actor. Maybe he's attaching it to the mouse. Okay, let's see. Let's see what this guy's doing. Get player character, customize character, target, cast the character to get access to the tool. Get player character. Why so small? Get actor location. Get forward vector. What is doing? Get actor location. Single line trace by channel. Single line trace by channel. Why is doing this? No idea. Convert master location to workspace. Because probably wants to know that he's not touching, he's not going through other objects. Okay, I understand. In my case, it's much simpler than that. Set actor location. Yeah, can I just let me see. Where do I get access value? Input access term, access value. This is a float, right? This is a float. Can I just take this float and put it into the movement of the thingy? I think I can. Why I cannot? The problem is that I need to know. I need to know the object. I need to have a pointer to the object. So I need to do it. I need to do it in my. Yeah, I need to do it here, similar to what I do here. She's a bit of a mess, but it's okay. It's okay. So I will have to do. Wait, I will have to do something like that. Do I really need to do it for all the actors in the game? Yes, I think I have to do it for all the actors in the game. There is this nice get all actors with tag. Minigame location, yeah. Nice. Okay, I can do it like this. I just forgot, but I solved this already. So let me just, I need more space here. So the point is that we need a reference to our object if you want to move it, otherwise. So to get this I don't remember what is it. We should always put comments. Get a so I think here I'm getting the setting the minigame location. Setting minigame location. So what I want to do something nearly identical to this, which is set lock picking object, right? Lock picking tool. So this will be called lock picking tool. So I need to set a tag on one of my actors. Yeah. Trying to make it less cluttered, less messy. I need to set. So let's call it lock picking tool. So the way to search object in the game is incredibly enough. This get actor with tag. I mean, there is one way. I think there are other ways, but this way I think is good. So I need to get this guy. This guy is not an actor. This guy is not an actor. Can we move a static mesh? I think it's much better if we can move an actor, actually. Because an actor has location, has whatever. I don't know. Can we move just a mesh? Because this is just a static mesh inside this structure, you know. And I have the feeling, I can try, but I have the feeling, does it even have tags? Yes, tags. It's a component. Can I move a component? I think I can move a component. But, okay, can I do get all actors with tag? Can I do a get all components with tag? Probably not. I can do get all actors with tag, but I cannot do get all components with tags. I don't know why. So I can change it to an actor. I mean, which kind of makes sense because is the way it is. I mean, it's an actor that we want to move around, that we want to interact with. So I think it makes sense he's an actor, but so an actor is an object that can be placed or spawned in the world. In our case, we have a static mesh. We have a static mesh component. A static mesh component is used to create an instance of a uStatic mesh. Static mesh is a piece of geometry that consists of a static set of polygons. So I think that, you know, a static mesh probably is too low in the hierarchy to actually, even if it has a location and position. So to me, would be kind of enough in this case. I just need something that has a location, you know, and a rotation and a scale, and that's it. And it's movable. But apart from that, I don't care that he's an actor. The problem is, how do I get a reference of this lockpick in my blueprints? Let me see if I found it. Get reference to a static mesh from blueprints. I know it's a bit of a long question, but yeah, they are using get all actor of class, and then they are using actor as tag. So actually, and then it's getting a component, get component by class, get all actor of class, get component by class. So it's using the same technique. The difference is that I don't know if my get all actor of class BB shape small, because this one is not an actor. So I think if I try to do get all actor, this lockpick will not, you know. Unless I do get all actor of class static mesh, but it sounds a bit silly. Static mesh actor. Is this actually a static mesh actor or is just a static mesh? This is what is confusing me. This lockpick. No, this is a... Ah, yes, actually this thing is made of two pieces. One is the lockpick, which is a static mesh actor, and this one is a static mesh component. Okay, inside the actor. Okay, so it's an actor anyway. Okay, I was confused by that. So, okay, so then that's easy. So I can add a tag to this actor, which is called lockpicking tool. Okay, so I was confused by that. And so, in theory, this one should return that object. And this object we will set as a variable lockpicking tool, which will be of type static mesh actor, and we will set we don't care where it is, we just set it to this. Oops. And we just print the name just because we want to. Static actor object reference is not compatible with static mesh actor object reference. Okay. Because we assume, can I cast it? Cast to static mesh. Yeah, because it could return other stuff. Okay. So we will print out this name. So as soon as the game starts, let's recompile. As soon as the game starts, we should see the name of the thingy. Lockpick. Yes, I think it worked. This one is called lockpick, and he's typing lockpick. Okay, so we have a reference to this object. When the game starts, we keep a reference to this object, okay? And that is kind of working, and we do it like this. So we set the lockpicking tool to be that thingy. And now, what we need to do is to this one, let's close that. Let's close that. Let's close this for now as well. So I have too many pieces. What is that question? I'm trying to close this, and it's saying, do you want to apply this to, because I did a duplicate? No. Would you like to apply changes to this material to the original material? What do you mean? I would say yes, but I'm not sure what you mean. Okay, so now we have the reference to our lockpicking tool. So now the question was, when I move my mouse here, can I move this? So if I'm lockpicking, can I use this axis value to actually move that object somehow? Now we need to see what is the easiest way to move. I can move to actor, no. I can move to location. I think I can set the actor location, and that's it. I think I can set the actor location. Now the point is, I would like to do it incrementally, you know. So I mean, I want to get the current location and add whatever value we have. So I think I need to do get actor location, and then have like a plus vector with my axis value, and then put it here. Okay, let's try. So basically this will move the lockpick in theory, okay? So I don't know if it will work, but the idea is that it moves the lockpick. So as soon as I approach this, my mouse is doing nothing. Is this because I disabled mouse input? Could be. Fuck, I didn't connect it. Boys, you have to follow me, okay? If I make mistakes, you have to tell me. It's not moving it. It's not moving it. Okay, so let's check if I can simulate, I think, right? If I move this, I should see if it goes up here. It's one of the beauty of Unreal, man. Look at this. I can check if this goes into this branch, right? Well, actually, it seems that it disables everything, so Is mini, I stops here, is minigame true? Is lockpicking. Now we have to enable only lockpicking, otherwise it stops here. Okay. So because I enabled both, so let's do this only lockpicking, okay, without minigames. Without minigames. Okay, I can move up and down. I cannot move left and right for whatever reason. Let me see where we are. Okay, we are here actually. So we have get actor location. So input axis turn is actually going into this. Now, what is this value? I have no idea. This value is 0. I can print it out and see if it changes, but probably it doesn't. The problem is that probably it does not change. This value is probably not changing. I want to print out this value. I know the graph is a bit messy, but I want to print out. Huh? When I move the mouse, it's actually doing something. It's minus something, minus 0.5. And plus 0.1, so it's actually, in theory, so this value is some. So why, if I do, can I print out lockpicking tool name just to be sure that it's set? Let's just ensure the lockpicking is actually set properly. Okay. Yeah, lockpick. Okay. Okay. So this variable is valid. And this value here is something. So now I'm taking get actor location of this guy and I'm adding on top of it the movement of the mouse. Now I don't know if the movement of the mouse is so small that it doesn't really affect him at all. I could multiply it by, I don't know, 100 and see what happens. Should we do it? Let's multiply this by 100. No, wait. Let's multiply it by float. Okay. I don't know if it's a sensitivity problem or something else. So if I walk here, it's not moving at all. It's not moving shit. Why is it not moving? Should be always enabled by default, so why is not moving? Sweep, teleport. Let's try teleport and see if it makes any difference. It doesn't. So it looks like this set actor location is actually not doing shit. Hello gents. Welcome to the channel. It's not really moving. Why is not moving? Turn axis. Can we do it? Can we do it also in this case? Let's see. So if this is false, we go here. If this is false, we go here. If this is true, we go here. Okay. Let me see. Please move. It's not moving. It's not moving. I can do it with a keyboard though. I mean, I could try to, but anyway, here we have a value. Okay, so I could just let's do this. Let's just set the new location to whatever impossible place, you know. So to like 100, 100, 100. Who cares? So this thing should just disappear. Okay. So as soon as I go here, that thing, you see, it doesn't disappear, it doesn't move, it doesn't do shit. So it seems like this set actor location is something that I cannot. What is return value? Return value is wherever the location was successfully set, or whatever the movement occurred at all. Okay, so we can print this out. And see if it goes to true or false. It's always false. Okay, so it doesn't, basically cannot move this object. Why? No idea. Oh fuck, I think I set it as static. Now that I think about it, I think I remember that this thing was static and not movable. Where is it? Where do I find it? Lockpick. This thing. Mobility. Static. That's not a good idea. Let's do movable. If you want to move it, makes kind of sense. Makes kind of sense, boys. Ah, it disappeared. Okay. We are getting there. I have a good feeling. So let's redo what I was doing. Multiply by 100. No, let's not multiply by 100 anymore. Yeah, sorry, the graph is a bit of a mess. I know. Can I improve it? Yeah, I can. Let me move some stuff down so we can improve the graph, because I understand as it is annoying to look at. So let me do this. Let me move this down, this down, this down. Well, this actually here. This we can make it bigger, and we can have all our stuff done here properly. Okay. So you don't get mad. The graph looks a mess. So there is lookup and there is turn. I think we look a mess anyway, but okay, we'll put this inside. So there is the case in which we don't have a minigame, right? There's two things where we don't have a minigame. There is the case when we have a lockpick. So we have our lockpicking tool here. Let's put it at the top, maybe it's easier. We get the actor location. We multiply it by, well, actually we add it to this thing, which is the movement of the mouse. So how much the mouse moved, right? We add it to that, and then we set the actor location. Scale display name, it's not needed. Okay, makes more sense to you? I don't know. At least is, yeah, there are less crossings, but okay. So let's see if that thing moves. Let's see if that thing moves. So I go here. It moves, boys. Okay, it moves. That's very nice. It moves with my mouse. Now, I'm showing the mouse, but actually, I could avoid showing the mouse. I mean, it's not needed actually. Show mouse cursors to false. I don't need to show the mouse, so yeah, exactly. So basically, now we can have, you know, We can have a maximum movement radius, whatever now, but I think, so what I'm trying to simulate this, okay, just for the ones of you that just came on the stream. I'm trying to simulate something like this. You see, when it's moving the tool and it's moving the other thingy, and then it's kind of opening the door, you know. So this is what I'm trying to simulate, and I was thinking I couldn't make it without the custom class, but actually it seems that it's doable. I'm very happy about that. It seems that it's doable. So what we need to do, so now it's all a matter of math. So now I need someone good at math to help me, because now it's only a matter of saying this thing obviously we also need a way to get out of it, because at the moment we don't have a way to get out of the minigame, so we're stuck in the minigame forever. Well, we could associate it to escape, or we could really show the mouse, but So now the question is, if I want to have this thing move, select actor location. That's very nice. I will need to have like a pivot point. So the pivot point will be like at the tip of my tool, and I will have to rotate or whatever. But I think it's okay. I mean, we've proven the theory that is work. I mean, it's something that we can do. It's definitely something we can do. Yeah, I'm just thinking if what I want to do now, because we have proven is doable. As long as I move, I mean, as long as I interact with my mouse and my keys. I think it's kind of fine. But actually, I mean, in the world, I'm actually interacting only with my mouse and my keys. So what's the difference, you know? So I think I can do. So when I'm moving like this, I'm only using keys and mouse. So it's the same thing. So the difference is that here we have. Well, first of all, I have to stop the character moving because this is not what I want. But so like the left and right could like rotate the box, and you know, so we can just invent mini games now and just implement them this way. So the point will be to invent the mini game. The only annoying part of this is that we need to keep a reference. So I don't know what happens. I don't know. I have no idea what happens in multiplayer with this. Because in multiplayer, because this set movement, I have no idea if set actor location will work for everyone in the game. Because there is the theory, right? The theory is that we are in our world, in our whatever, in our server side, right? And we have we have different clients. Let's say that we have 3 clients, and we have 3 clients, and each one has its copy of this thing, right? So each one in his world, right, has this thing somewhere. It's too big, but yeah, each one is this. And I do a set, and I move it. Now the problem is that on the server side, I have it as well, because the server side is just instantiating one of the many. I mean, it's instantiating the same world. So actually on the server side, I have it as well. So I have a copy of this. The question is, when I do set movement here, because I will do set movement on the clients, or I will do set movement on the server. I will do set movement on the client. Now, do I want to validate the minigame server side? I think that's the big question, right? Do I want to validate the minigame server side? Because if I want to validate it, then I need to run the logic. So like the server will send the coordinates. No, the client will send the answer. The server will have the answer to that particular minigame. Server will have the answer to that particular minigame. So for example, the right rotation is, I don't know, 42. Just a random number. And the client will try to rotate the lock many times until he arrives to 42, and is continuously sending to the server the actual rotation, and at a certain point the server says yes, that is the right rotation, and you see on the client the fact that the lock's open, right? The lock opens. Now this means that that's definitely more secure. That's definitely more secure. But this means that whenever we are moving our mouse here, left or right, we will have to send to the client, we will have to send to the server the information of my mouse moving. So every small movement, it will be sent. Unless we do it like that, you move it, you hear some sound, and then when you click it, and when you click, you kind of try, to open it. The problem is that if you give this information to the client, then they can just take that information and auto open it. Yeah. Depends if you want to make it completely impossible to hack, or if you want to make it just simpler but hackable. Because at the moment this thing will be possible to be hacked if we leave it only client side, obviously. But it is pretty cool anyway. I think we found a way to do it, right? Which is what I was looking for. I was looking for a way to do this. I made it gold. Now I was looking at a way to do this. So this basically proves that scene capture 2D can be okay. It's not true that I need to translate screen coordinates to screen capture. It's not correct, because actually what I've proven now is that the interactivity, as long as is mouse based, is fine. I mean, like for lock picking is okay. Now for for the other game is a problem though, because if I go to the other game, right? Is it playing already? No. I'm sorry, I started the wrong project. If I go to the other game, which is this one, how would I click on the ball? Yeah, for this mini game, it's not possible to do it that way. I would need to, like I said, transfer. If I want to click on something with my mouse, I will have to do like a screen translation. Yeah, let's say the translation of the mouse position of the screen to the actual coordinates of the object, and that's it. Yeah. So depends on the mini game. Certain mini games we can use one technique. Other mini games, I think we can use another technique. I don't know. Let's make our character green, which is always nice. I'm thinking. This guy looks like me. Suspicious. So because we need to decide if we make like a generic mini game engine, you know, like maybe we have to make two. Maybe we need to make two or three. So another type of mini game that I was thinking was requiring to draw on a board. The problem is that in that case, if you draw on a panel on a board, I think the screen capture will be okay, because you will move your mouse only, and you will paint with your mouse, or you will draw with your mouse, which I think is fine. But we can also do it differently. We can also have it 3D. Yeah, we could have it 3D and the mouse is moving the object. Yeah. So what I'm thinking is, let's assume that I have to do a precision kind of mini game. Okay. Yeah, I think I will keep them all 3D and all with mouse movement. I think it's the easiest. Now the problem will be to set up in a way that the mouse movement is not annoying, you know, so that it's something that is smooth and fun to play. But I'm thinking the problem is that it will not be auto-generated. Okay, I explain you what I have in mind, because now I'm just thinking aloud. But let's make another scene component, because we can make another mini game, another scene capture 2D, whatever it is. So Let's make it roughly in the same, yeah, always in the same kind of location. And this one will be a bit bigger though. This one will be a bit bigger. Let's rotate it as usual 180 degrees so we don't look at where our world is, because actually our world is here. But we look the opposite way, so we look, let's say, to the infinite and beyond. Okay, so now the other mini game I was thinking was like a board. Yeah, so we need a plane. We need a plane. Let me put up a plane again. Let me put it here and then rotate it 90 degrees and then scale it like 1,000,000 degrees. Okay. So this one will be pretty big, and the camera will just look, yeah, I don't know, maybe it's too close. Camera will just look there. So the point is that let's imagine that I have, can I make it top down? Maybe it's easier for me to create. Yeah, I think it's easier for me to create if I do it horizontally. So I will have to change the cam. So this camera will be top down. We will also respect physics somehow. So maybe if you want to have physics into it, it would be nice. So for example, let's say we want to have a ball that is moving, but I need to make a new actor then, right? It has to be a ball that is respecting physics. Yes, I think I need that. So can I make it a pawn? Because or we should just go with the mouse movement, huh? Just go with the mouse movement, I guess. Okay, let's try to make it an actor. So let's try to call it, this one will be obstacle ball. Obstacles ball, that is called. And this one will definitely be a sphere. So that's kind of easy. Will be centered, well, will be sitting on the ground, I think. Can I do it? It is sitting like that, like this. Okay. Will be smaller than that. Will be pretty small. Be sitting on the ground in 0, 0, 0, and it will be colored whatever, like this. And the important point is that this one will really block all dynamic. Yes, so this one will block all, this one will be movable, and we'll have to respect physics. He already has enabled gravity, so I think it's okay. I think we need to make it a pawn though. I think we need to make it a pawn and we need to possess it. You know? Because I think that will be the best way to actually have it move normally. Anyway. So let's say that we have I think I have to think about that one. The point is the point is, can I make a kind of an obstacle course like dynamically? Because the point is that it will be I mean, there will be so you understand what I'm doing, right? Asset, edit, duplicate. So this thing will be closed, right? So will be like a course, like a track, and I don't know exactly how to do it, but again, this is just an example, but this is just a stupid example. Okay. And the same, then we should name all these things properly, because now all of them are named like cube 1, cube 2, so we'd never find them again. But yeah, let's say that we have something like this, and something like that, with the difference that there will be an exit. Do we want an exit, or do we want to have like one area where we can also have an exit? So we can have an exit with yeah. I mean, again, this is just an example, but we could have a number of these things positioned in the how we want, and the point is that this should be generated dynamically, though. So that's the idea, right? So the idea is that this is generated dynamically, and based on the complexity, right, you generate a different level. So based on the skill of the character in that particular craft things, so the ball will like start here, you will have to go through without touching any of these things. As soon as you touch one of those, you will fail your crafting, or anyway you will have, you know, some maluses in crafting. Now we'll just have to have our ball here, and is there any material that is like wood? Yes, there is. Nice. Okay, and then we can obviously make better assets than this. Yeah, I could have said the material before, and then before the duplication, right? I know. Ouch. You don't want to delete it. Okay, so you get the idea. You get the idea. Can I multi-select and put the material to all? Oh wow, I can. That's very nice. Wow. Okay, so yeah, that's the idea. So you will have a kind of a mini game like this. Now the point is that I will have to generate. So there will be like an input to this, and the input will be like the skill of the character or the complexity. I don't know how to, yeah, right. So it depends, and these things will be generated automatically, programmatically in this area. And then somehow you will have to possess the ball and have the ball move around here without touching any of these bumpers, a bit like a flipper thingy. And yes, without touching any of the bumpers. And if you do, your crafting will be worse. Then if you don't do, your crafting will be best, and such, right? Maybe there will be a limited time, so you have to do this in a specific time. And if you get less points and such. So, okay. Now this board can be much bigger, right? So now I did it like this just as an example, but it could be much bigger. I just don't know if I have to possess this thing to move it, or what is the best way to move it with physics, you know? Is exactly the thinking. I mean, not exactly, but uses the same concept of physics and does this guy have a download? No, it doesn't have a download, so it's not really an example. It's more of a wow, these guys went really full game. Very nice. This game looks neat, by the way. Only 6 views? Oh my god. Only 6 people have seen this video since 2017. I cannot believe it. It's a very nice video. Why only 6 people? Oh my god. He also has lights during the night. Wow. It looks beautiful. I mean, I don't know if it's fun to play, but just another marble game. Seems there is an example of this. Since there are some basic from scratch can tune the game mechanics, especially the difference between small, large marble, like increased control. You can download the first 2 levels from me and last updated 2015. This link will never work. GG. Okay. Blueprint just for laugh part 1. Inspired by a rolling ball game. Rolling ball game blueprint. Rolling ball game blueprint. Is there something like this in standard Unreal Engine example? So I'm feeling there is something here. Is there rolling ball game example somewhere, guys, that we can use? That would be nice. But anyway, your task now is to make minigames so I can integrate them into this. You know? That is your task, boys. How do I search it? Can I search? Rolling ball, rolling ball. There is a million people doing rolling ball. Creating a rolling ball based on character blueprint. I think we need anyway a pawn and possess it somehow. Let's try to just see what happens if I possess the ball. Just to see what happens. I have no idea. So this thing we need to set. So this is called obstacle ball. We have the same problem. We need to create a tag, and this tag would be obstacle ball. Obstacles ball. Obstacles. It's pretty important to type it right, otherwise we never find it. Obstacles ball. Okay. Let's just go in my third person something, and I will have to do the same of this. Okay, it didn't work. I wanted to copy without copying, but so I could paste my obstacle ball name, but it didn't work. So what if we do something like this, and then we just set it to, let's create a new variable which we call it obstacles ball, the same one, obstacle, obstacles ball, and we make it, well, this one is still a static map. What is this thing? No, this is an actor. This is really an actor. We created an actor, so there is really an actor, and we get this, we set it to this. Okay, so we have our reference. We can still print it out just to be sure that we are getting something. I think it's a good idea, that we know if we are getting a reference for real or not. Okay. Obstacle ball. Okay, we're getting the reference. Nice. So we have the reference to that. Now let's make another mini game then. Mini game trigger 3 at this point. So will be another thingy. I have to create another actor. So add new blueprint class actor trigger mini game 3. And this trigger minigame 3, how will be done? Do you have ideas? We don't have much. We have a cone, a cylinder. I'm gonna have a cylinder maybe. Let's have a cylinder kind of thingy. And maybe we can put on top a cone of some kind. And that's already something. It already looks like something different. Okay, I think it's enough. And materials. That's when we can make wood. Okay. Okay, so this one will have the same thingy. We'll have on begin overlap, right? We want to overlap all, like we said, like for the others. Overlap all dynamics on begin overlap, and here we will have our print hello. No, why not here? Why here? Here. Okay. So, and I want to put this somewhere in my level. This one is pretty small. Need to make it bigger. Oops. Why it went upside down? Ah, because I scale it negative. Okay, it's a bit better. It's not great, but it's okay. Okay. So this will be the other activator for the minigame. And okay, it says hello. So we need to add. So he will be the same. Will be the same scene component, same thing I did before. So I need to have my scene target, my scene capture, which is this one, associated to a texture. Create a render target, put it inside textures, call it obstacles ball target, okay, and you see it's already showing the right way, which is nice. And yeah, now the effect is vertical. We can use gravity the proper way, so which I think is nice. Now the question is, do we want to possess the board or the ball? Because we could do it the other way, right? We could possess the board and have us move the board. Or move the ball. I think there's two possibilities, but anyway. Okay, so this is the scene. Okay, so this I did. Now I need to do a material, right? I need to do a material, and this material I have to move it here. And this material will be m underscore obstacle ball, and it will be exactly the same thing we did before. So it's under emissive. It's not here. It's not opaque, it's translucent. We have our opacity 1 minus. Same thing. Okay, so we did our material. So now we want a widget. Now maybe we can make a generic widget that is just changing the render target based on, I don't know, maybe we can. I'm thinking about it. This is obstacles ball UI, and here instead of this, we have this one. Okay. Nice. Okay. I just want to see what happens when, I mean, if this ball is moving. Do you think this ball is moving? With physics somehow? I don't know. I have no idea. I don't know if by default physics are on. But I have enabled gravity, so I never played with physics in Unreal. Never. So I have no idea. Zero idea. So what we can do, okay, so we connected this. And now what we want to do, we want in our overlap to call this, right? Trigger minigame 3. Well, we can copy it from minigame 2. Yes, we can copy everything from minigame 2. The difference is that it would be called all this is the same, this is the same. This was coming from here. Okay, we have to create different widget, which is this one, add it to the viewport. Now, set is lockpicking. I don't know. I mean, at the moment we don't have a flag for this. For now, let's just not set anything, but I think we will need it. Let me just see what happens like this. Doesn't like it. Why? Other actor. Okay. Fine. Fine. Boom. It's low res because we didn't specify the resolution, but the ball is not moving anyway. Just in case you want to know. Yeah, I need to increase a bit the texture resolution, otherwise it's too little. It's 256 now and it's rendering on a very large area, so it's not really nice to see. Okay. It's a bit of a skewed view, I don't know why. I think we can change the field of view of the camera. I think I did this already. The field of view, there is a field of view thingy. You can set lens, no, lens image effect, no, lens flare, exposure. Wow, there's so much here, by the way. It is insane. Yeah, field of view. Let me try like a 45 and see if it's more reasonable. Maybe we have to move. We need to move a bit this thing to the back. Probably. That's not saying. Can I have an orthographic view instead of a perspective view? I don't know if I can. Rendering feature, projection, perspective. Oh, orthographic. Wow. We can, boys. We can have an orthographic view instead of wow. That's nice. Orthographic view seems that removes completely any kind of lighting and anything else, so maybe it's not the best choice. You completely remove the change it back to perspective a second and see what happens. Yeah. Okay. So what if, how do I enable physics on this thing? How do I enable physics on this thing? Is it an easy thing or is it a complex thing? Any one of you ever did physics with Real Engine? Let me know. Like if I move the ball up, does it go down? Can't see the ball. So it didn't go down, I guess. How do I get a better, how do I get a less skewed view? So let me check. If I increase the view radius, field of view 90. This ball is very close to me, and so it shows like pretty bad, but it doesn't fall down. Okay, so let me just see how this works. Okay, so I have my ball, and these settings, world setting, enable work composition. Blah, blah, blah. No, it doesn't make any sense. Obstacle ball, actor reading game, billboard scale, auto receive input disabled. Input player one. If you want to register this actor receive input from a player. Input priority selected, persistent level, conversion can be damaged. Initial lifespan, spawn collision handling, always spawn, ignore collisions. Physics should update. Physics volume is component should be updated. Component is moved. Physics. I cannot. I need to make. I need to make a physics component around this thing. I cannot just have it. I mean. Simple for static mesh component, simulation requires simple collision to be set up on the static mesh asset. Well, that would be easy. Simple collision. So I remember there was collision here on the static mesh. Static mesh is a sphere. The problem is that if I change it here, I think I change it for the wall. Real Engine, but because there is the sphere that is inside Unreal. Well, there is in this example, but okay, simple collision. Anyway, we enabled it. Yeah, because this thing is a basic of the engine, so I can't really change it. How do I add on top of this sphere my collision? So I have my obstacle ball, which is this one. Static mesh. Can I So I need to have my own, kind of my own asset. I need to create my own asset to actually have it with the collision detection properly. I mean, I can create a sphere and import it. It would not be a problem. Wow, this sphere is complex. I could make a sphere in Blender and import it. Should we do it? Isn't that a sphere with collision already? Sphere collision. There was, boys. There was a sphere already. With collision. Do I need to make... is this just a collision sphere? Or is the... okay, so I understand. Okay. It's not a sphere. It's just the collision of the sphere. Understand? Fine. Fine with me. Okay, this will be the collision. So now that he has a collision, let me see if for any reason it allows me to do the physics. Oh yes, simulate physics. Nice. Mass in kilograms. Wow, 100 kilograms. $141 kilograms. Okay. Yeah, fine. I mean, 100 kilograms will be a bit hard to move, but for sure it will fall down. That's for sure. The ball is not here, so let me try something. Let me put a ball just in front of us so that we, right? And we see if this ball falls down or not. Okay. Careful, because there is actually another ball, I think. So if I want to simulate physics on this one, I have to tell it simulate physics. Simulate physics is on, but for some reason it doesn't like it. My ball is not falling down. Why? Let me try the other way around. It fell down, boys. Can I kick it? Oh, I can kick it! Oh my god, coming from a custom engine, seeing these things that is so easy to do is just making me smile, you know? Oh my god, I can kick the ball 100 kilos like a boss. I can kick the ball so easy. 100 kilos. Let's go 100 kilos. Now, this is only client side, huh? Don't be fooled. I think this is only client side. But anyway, it's already kind of fun. Already kind of fun. You already have your kind of mini game, you know. Okay, so the ball is gonna fall. The ball is falling. So now if I go here, the ball I think is falling into the box. No, it didn't. Why? Should have. Simulate physics. We need to check the collision of the stuff that is below it, because I don't know if what is the collision here? Actor, blah blah blah, lot cooking. Collision is on the mesh, right? Yes, there is block dynamic all. Okay, I just don't know my board, like this plane. What is it in terms of collision? Well, this one collision simulation generated fire events when objects collide during physics simulation. Physical material override allows you to override the physical material to use for simple collision of this body. What do you mean? What kind of physical material I have? I have no physical materials. You mean that this thing doesn't have... Okay, I think I understand. This thing doesn't have physics, doesn't collide with anything. So if I want to what is my sphere collision, for example? Is in sphere. It's not here, huh? No, because sphere collision was inside my actor blueprint. So this one is actually pure geometry put into the level. So I think it's not gonna work like we expect. Right? This thing is just pure geometry put in there like so probably the ball is falling down, it's not colliding with anything. It's just going through this. So maybe we should make this one an actor, and then the ball will fall here. That's a possibility. Because what is the difference between this plane, plane 3, and the plane that we have in our main level? Like this floor, right? It collides, the ball collides with this floor for sure. What is the difference with this floor? This floor is just a static mesh made of a static mesh component. It doesn't have simulate physics on. It has enabled gravity on. It doesn't have any physical material. Template floor, static mesh. It doesn't have simple collision or complex collision enabled. It doesn't have any... It actually has some convex elements here, which I don't know exactly. collision preset, block all. So anyway, it's a kind of a static mesh like this. We can use the same floor, by the way. Why not? Just as an example. You can duplicate this and put it as a floor of our thingy. No? Why not? Because my plane 3 it's actually here okay, so it created, well, it goes to engine content plane, so it's a bit different. So now we need to create, I think we need to create okay, let me do something. Let me copy this, let me duplicate this and move it to my maps. I don't know where I put it. Well, the best would be maybe under okay, let's just use this template floor. Who cares? This will be huge for what we need to do, so we have to make it way smaller. Okay, put it there. Obviously, is like immense for what we need, but it's okay. You can scale it. You can scale it like okay, I can scale it. Now we will create assets for this, and just a test. Don't worry. I know it looks bad, but it's okay. So I will remove that. I will put this. I will select material, which is my wood. Okay, so this one is the same of the one where it's colliding. So I assume that now my ball it went through. I think the ball went through. So it's not colliding. Why? I don't know exactly what is happening there, so I could put it on a screen here and see what is happening as soon as the game starts. Can put it on a screen here, and I can have this thing render my obstacle material. No, because it's made for the same thing. It's made for I need to make another one. Obstacle ball target. I need to make a copy of this. Obstacle ball target cube. Because when you go like transparency like this, it's getting very confusing for him. What is final color is that's the why. Okay, yeah, because it's really a different material type. So we changed the material type, and now we should be able to display it in our in our Cube TV. Okay. So we should be able to see there, apart from the fact that we are just in front of it. So the ball is completely out of view. Why the ball is completely out of view? Just renaming some of these things to find them easy. Why the ball is completely out of view? Well, is here. I can put it more in the middle, I guess. We're just in front of it and so we don't see it. Okay, let me move this here. The ball doesn't exist in the... It just disappears immediately. As soon as I play, it disappears from here. So it's not... Something is not working. What if I put it on the... What if I put it... What if I put it directly on the board, already on the ground, so that it's not like, doesn't have to fall anyway. Like this. Standing on it. Doesn't show here. Doesn't show here at all. Not even for a second. It shows at the beginning, but then as soon as I play, it disappears. But in theory, it's the same as this ball, right? It's the same as this. So I have simulate physics, mass kilo 100. All the rest is the same. And this one, which is the same because it's copied from the, yes, simulate physics. Okay, the mass we can have 1 kilo 100. Enable gravity. No constraints. All the rest should be the same. No, it's not there. It's disappearing. So the floor, I just substituted it, right? So can I move my character there so we actually see what is going on? I think I can. There is the main camera. Actually, I can move the camera there. It's a bit far, but or I can do the opposite. I can bring that stuff here. It's very strange that it doesn't. Template floor 1. Template floor 1. I don't know if it's something that is, that is not going through the scene capture. So like the scene capture is actually not seeing the ball. That is what I'm thinking. There is some, the physics simulation is messing up the scene capture, but I hope not. I hope not. or I move the camera here, or I just move the floor there. I would like to move all this thing, all these components. Can I group them somehow? I would like to group all of this into a thingy. How do I make it into a folder so all of that is into a size, focus, blah blah blah, snap view, convert, blah 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 blah. Select visibility level attached to transfer event. No, I just want to add a new folder here. New folder. Okay. Obstacles ball. Yes. So now we take all these pieces. What are all these color spheres? The color spheres are the one that all these ones should be grouped in a folder, otherwise it's a mess. Let me just organize a bit the assets or colored balls. So all of this should go inside the colored balls. Okay. Then these cubes. Yeah, all these cubes. 1, 2, 3, 4. This one probably not. Cube mesh. What is this? No. So all of this should go inside obstacle ball. Together with, I guess, all the cylinders. No, not this one. Yeah, I made a bit of a mess not naming this object properly, so now it's kicking me. So this cylinder is actually, we should call it lockpick cylinder. Lockpick cylinder 1. And this other one is lockpick cylinder 2, and this one is lockpick. Okay, so it's already okay. Now all these cylinders 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Okay, all of this should go into our new folder. Down here. Okay. And actually also the ball, I would like to move it there. It's this one. It's this one. Can I go up? Okay. So now all these objects are the one that make our mini game. So can I take all of this and move it? If I do transform location, I just say 0, what happens? Think. I think something bad may have happened. What is the 0, 0, 0 on this level? They're all here. Okay, they moved like in a stupid way. Okay, so that's not the best way to do it. For sure. That's not the best way to do it. How do I move? Any one of you know how do I move all of this block? I mean, I can select it and move it manually, but it will take me forever. By the way, the floor is not with us. I mean, I have to go a million kilometers away from here. She's down there. And it's really far, as you can tell. Can I group this somehow and then move the group? Group it actually worked. Group actor. Group actor 0. But I cannot move only the group. I mean, when I select. Doesn't work. I mean, I don't know what the group is for, but it's not what I want to use it for, because I wanted to move all these objects there. Okay, it's easier to move my camera here, I guess. It's probably simpler, right? I just don't know how to move an object quickly to another one. I mean, I know how to move my camera there quickly because I just press F and I go to the object. But if I have to move all that stuff here, I don't know how to do it. I don't know how to do it, boys. I'm thinking if there is a simple way. Well, I can, because I have to move all of that to like 0, 0, 0 will be good, but a relative, I mean, keeping the same relative positioning to each other, you know. So that's the point. Or I can just move it and recreate it there. Okay, let's do this quickly. Let me just do like this. Okay, it's not the best, but I will just keep the ball and the floor. Okay. Yeah. So I don't have to move everything and such. And I just want to save the ball. Fuck, I think it's a problem with scene render and component. That is a major issue. It is a major issue. You see? So in reality, it collides. It collides properly. But through my scene, it does not. Wow. The fact I can kick this ball is so nice. I want to see what happens if I possess the ball. To possess the ball, I think I need to put a key. Let's have a key like P or something. P key. No, P is already posed. Let's say Q or R, whatever, R. Let's say R. R. So R will take this obstacle ball and we'll have my character. So get player controller. Possess. I must be a pawn, so this one it will never work. Okay. Okay, it cannot be just a normal object. It has to be a pawn ball. I mean, it has to be a pawn. So we need to create. So if we want to do it that way, we need to create a new class, derive it from pawn, call it marble ball, and here we can I just copy it from the other one? It should be a bit easier for me. Can I just copy this and paste it into my marble ball? That would be beautiful. Nice. Well, it did one level. Okay. I guess we have it. It's not the same though. It looks like I never understood if this ground positioning makes sense or no for Unreal. Like when you are touching the ground or not touching the ground. I don't know if it's something or not something. I don't know really. Okay, I guess we have a collision which is slightly bigger. So there is a marble ball which is actually a pawn, right? So I would like to set a reference to this marble ball as well and then try to possess it just to see. Marble ball. We should remember that the marble ball is the one we can possess. Marble ball, marble ball. So we need to put a marble ball here somewhere. So I think I can delete that. But for now it's okay. Let's put it here. Actually, let's put it on top of this. So maybe we can fold down, you know. And this marble ball will have the actor tag. We need to put the tag like we did in the past. So we need to go here and in the actual mesh. No, it's not in the mesh. It's in the actor. In the actual actor, there should be tags. Yes. And we call it marble ball tags. Okay. So we have our marble ball tag, and now in our blueprint we do get all actors by tag. Okay, and we copy our marble ball, and then here we go here, and this one is the same. There are still fireworks going on, believe it or not. There's people doing fireworks now. Like leftovers maybe from yesterday? I don't know. Okay, I need to set it to my marble ball variable. Okay. Okay. So let me say if. Actually, I want to do it like this to be sure that it's set. Marble ball. Okay. Marble ball is flying a bit. Why marble ball is flying? Marble ball doesn't have physics enabled, I guess. Okay, it does now. It does now. So let me try to see if I press. So if we say that if I press a key, I possess the ball. I want to see what happens. If R is pressed, then my player controller will possess this marble ball. Okay, get marble ball and pawn. No, come on. He's a pawn now. I mean, get pawn. What? Why? I mean, this is a pawn, I tell you. Uh-huh. Okay. I see. Okay, just needed to be casted to marble ball because marble ball is actually a pawn, so, but anyway, it's fine. So if I press E now, if I press R now, if I go here and I press R, nothing happens. Yeah. That would be nice. Okay. Why nothing happens? Did I connect it or no? No, I didn't. Okay. So if I go here and I press R, push it. I'm inside of it, but I cannot really move. But I'm inside the ball. I'm inside the ball, but I cannot move. Because, I don't know why, but I think we need to, I mean, it's not just possess, but it's more than possess. Handle attaching this control to a specified pawn only runs on the network authority, blah blah blah. I think the reason is that my ball doesn't have movement capability. So, like, our third person character has all this input, you know, mouse input, gamepad input, whatever, has all the input possible, like turn rate and lookup rate and such, input touch, so has all this stuff, and I think that our target is character, jump, stop jumping, and our ball doesn't have anything, right? Doesn't have anything. Also doesn't have a camera, so I think that maybe if we add a camera to that, we would see not from the middle of the ball, but we will see it from third person view. I have no idea. I can try. So if I add a camera, the camera will stay whatever. Let's say here, just for, I mean, maybe let's look at the ball. Let me see if it makes any difference when I possess the ball. No, it doesn't make any difference. So probably there is also a way to Okay, anyway, I think we explore. I think I would like to stop here because so what we have seen today is actually a lot of stuff. So we basically validated that for let me just check if I do simulate. What we validated is that based on the type of mini game we would like to do, there are actually possibilities for us to. How can I go full screen on this? Okay. There are actually possibilities for. Oh, it's so nice to see the physics of those two balls. There are actually possibility for us to play certain mini games. Like for example, this one, which is just a simple screen view, but I can generate and click on the ball and do something and win and lose a game. This one is pretty nice. Another possibility is this mini game, which is just allowing me to move, the one object based on the position of my mouse, which is also very nice. And then the problem would be to validate it server side, but I think it's something that we can do. And then from this one I cannot exit, so I think I'm stuck here forever. And then the last one, which we were trying to do, which were this one that is on screen here on the left, which is to move to possess an item and then play there. Now we need to decide which one is good for us. I think I'm stuck into this thing forever. Okay. I think we need to decide which one is good for us, and I would say the first one, pretty good. The second one, I think you have a problem with physics, so physics seems not to go through scene capture. I don't know why. Maybe there is a trick to do it, but scene capture 2D and physics seems that is not working with physics. I remember. Wait. I remember. I think. No, I did it in the other one. Let me check, because there is a way to restrict that object that the camera sees, but I don't think I did it on this one, right? I don't think I did on this one. Show only actors. No, I didn't do it. Now, because there is a way to restrict the actors that the camera is seeing, but I think it's not that. I did it here. I did it on these two actors. You see that the show only actors is set to a specific actor, so these two cameras are actually seeing only those two things. But these ones, in theory, are rendering the full scene, so should not be a problem. Okay, anyway, I would like to end the stream here, so thanks for watching. I don't know, maybe I will stream tonight as well or tomorrow. I'm still in holiday these days, and so it's pretty good. I can stream any time of the day I want. Usually I want to stream when I have something to show you, so I did this stream because I did some tests of mini games, and I think that I went kind of far already into what we can do, and so at least we know all these possibilities now. Yeah, I think there is some work to do on designing the mini games. I think we need to design the mini games first to decide which technology is best for the specific mini game. Because again, like a lockpick can be pretty easy to do, like we have seen, and so is enough. But like this Marble Madness game can be complex because it includes physics. Also, another thing that we need to test is the multiplayer part. So see what happens if I have two players activating the same mini game, and see if the two mini games are messing up, between each other or not. Personally, I think not, but we need to view the server side validation. So what I was saying here, right? So if we have a specific client If you have a specific client that is working with a mini game and another client that is working with a mini game, I mean, how do we validate, the exchange of information between client and server and yeah, do we want to validate it or not? So these are all the questions that are still left open. I think I'm pretty happy to say that at least the graphical part we can do in these two ways. So or scene capture 2D or move the character camera to the minigame location. So in that case, for example, the physics problem will go away, right? So I think that what we should do, what we should say here is that, just to complete it, is that we have a minus here which has physics seems not to be rendered properly. So it seems that the object that is bound to physics is not rendered properly, and it is a kind of a problem. I don't remember where the hell I placed this. I think it's under PS. Yes, we have all our Unreal images here. So let's say it is Unreal Mission minigames. I mean, it's not really a mission, but it's more of a brainstorming on it and trying to understand what is possible or not. I have to brainstorm more, but make more tests. But I think that for everything that doesn't include physics, I think we can go with the scene capture and then just changing the mouse input to yeah. And this will give us the big benefit of the integration with the widgets, and so this thing, and so the fact that we can display it on top of the current world, which will make it nicer, really nicer to see. For the ones that are including physics or complex clicking or stuff that is not just move the mouse, but is like quick interaction with 3D objects, I think we need to go with this one. The problem is that it's not integrated again. It's not blended into the world, and it is a bit annoying. And if I don't know if you really want to see the world around you, when you are playing the minigame, I mean, I don't know. It's something that we have to think about. I mean, it's obviously nicer to see it in overlay, but is it required? I don't know. Because if you can go with the same method all the time, would be better. One of the two, so that I don't have to create like two different systems. This paper 2D, I have no idea. At the moment, I didn't use it, and I have no idea if it's good or not. Okay, with that said, I think I will close the stream. Thanks for watching. Happy New Year. I think 2019 may see a release of Plane Shift in a real engine. I think it's possible. I would not promise it, but I would think it's possible. I think 1 year is a long time, and I mean, we are pretty far ahead, with many different systems in the game, and I think it could be possible. See you, boys!